Maybe just a little bit, huh? As you can see, the Dow down 363 points. Economists report even commodities are being sold. We're talking about gold, copper, oil markets in Asia. Europe also down sharply. Japan's market, the world's second largest, down almost 10% today. And the British economy shrank for the first time since 1991. America's financial crisis, it is no longer someone else's problem, is it? Nest eggs are shrinking, jobs are disappearing, and fear is climbing. What now? Here with some expert insights. A nationally known expert on personal finance, Terry Savage, is with us. She writes a syndicated personal finance column for the Chicago Sun-Times. Terry, good to see you. And from Washington, Eamon Javers, a reporter for Politico and former Washington correspondent for Business Week magazine. Terry, talk me off the ledge here. I don't know if you heard our last segment with Richard Quest.
I did.
All right, talk me off
Richard's
the ledge
a brave
here.
Man.
Yeah.
Okay.
Help me make some sense of what's happening here, because I just feel like I need a lot more information to feel. I want to feel some kind of confidence about the direction of these markets. I've got this 401k statement coming in. I don't even want to open it. Help me here.
All right. Well, first of all, you have to understand what's going on around the world. What's going on around the world is forced selling. Selling on the part of hedge funds who now have liquidation requests. It's not so much mutual funds anymore. 2 weeks ago, $14 billion in stock mutual funds was liquidated. Last week, $6 billion. Now we have the pros who are not only panicked but forced to sell. Margin calls, redemption requests. It's like deciding you're a good driver and maybe you should get out on the Indy 500 just to try it out. Stay off the roads right now. And today is a little bit of a strange day because the future said we were going to have a really horrible opening, down at least 550, maybe more, talking about circuit breakers of 1,000 points. We didn't get that.
I mean, that was
so to look ahead
crazy.
for the
Yeah.
All right, but to look ahead for the rest of the day, this is a Friday. And the last hour is always critical. It's going to be even more critical today to see whether there is that last burst of selling that will make people nervous over the weekend and portend a bad Monday, or maybe the buyers will step in. We will see in the last hour.
Right,
that's the thing to watch.
Here's what I like to do. Eamon, I want you to take a stab at this, and then I want to sit back here, as folks at home are doing, and I want to listen to the two professionals talk about this. And give us some real information based on your knowledge of these markets, where we've been and where we're going. Okay, so Eamon, first of all, take a stab at where we are with these markets, and then talk amongst yourselves here.
Yeah, well, look, I think the point about hedge fund professionals is interesting. I mean, a lot of the top hedge fund guys have said they're taking their money out of the markets now and putting it into cash. I mean, they're not even reinvesting it into other investments. Folks like John Paulson, who famously made something on the order of $15 billion last year by betting against the housing market, have said they're taking a big piece of their holdings and converting them to cash right now. That's a little bit scary when the smart money is doing that, and that indicates that we could be in for a really long slump here in the stock market, maybe as long as a full year from now before the markets start coming back to the levels where they were just in August or September. So I'd fasten my seatbelt here for a long and bumpy ride, because the markets need some good news here in order to start to begin a comeback, and there hasn't been much good news on the horizon. One big question will be whether or not the election will actually start to provide a boost of wind at the back of the markets, as people say, well, now we've got some clarity in Washington, we know who's going to be in charge, whoever it is, and we can begin to move forward. That might be a piece of good news depending on how it turns out, but we'll just have to wait and see. Not a lot of good news on the horizon here.
Terry, jump in. Any other thoughts on this?
Well, I don't want to outbear Eamon. The fact is that markets can go down and stay down longer than we expect. In the 70s, the Dow went from over 1,000 to under 700 and stayed down around that level till 1982, when this big bull market took off. So we're talking about two separate things. The stock market, where if you're younger and you're contributing to your 401k plan, you know, you have no choice but to keep contributing. You're not going to use that money for a long time. If you're older, we've been talking about diversifying, about chicken money, money to live on. It's a little bit late, even for the pros that are selling now. I hope it's a little bit late. I hope we'll look back and say some of the smart money sold out at the bottom. Surely there's a lot of money being exchanged now. And remember, for every share of stock that's sold today, someone is out there buying. They may not be talking about it today, but you don't get a seller without a buyer.
Yeah.
Something to keep in mind.
I've always wondered, and this is something I just don't understand about economics, though, when you see these huge slides in the Dow and it's going straight down on a day like today, earlier this morning, you wonder who are the buyers, because every time they are selling, somebody's buying. So somebody out there has got confidence, and that's maybe the silver lining here.
All right, let's leave it there. Terry, great to see you. Eamon, as always, good to see you.
Thanks.
And thanks for the analysis. You have questions. Our CNN Money team has answers. That's next.